Ryan Eckberg, former community manager here at Turn 10, has actually moved on to his next adventure. We wish him all the best of luck, but I would be helping out today, so I'm very excited to get started. Starting off strong with a new game mode. It's called the Eliminator. Okay, let's first start with the high level. What is it that we just saw?
That's right, Battle Royale is coming to Forza Horizon 4 tomorrow. So, yeah, it's coming to all Forza Horizon 4 players completely for free. You find other players in the world, you challenge them to a head-to-head, one-on-one race. The winner carries on, they get an upgrade to their car, the loser gets eliminated, last person standing wins. Yeah, he's upgraded now to level 7, it's a Bentley Continental, so he's gone from footballer's wife to footballer.
Yep.
Yeah, so
that was the very quick progression at the end of Owen's 1-to-1 there. He had a choice to either steal his opponent's car or level up his own car.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
so
terribly fantastic.
That's it. So you could potentially go from a level 1 to a level 10 in one hit. The Mark IV Supra is arguably the most iconic car of its era, right? An era when the Japanese were just doing what they wanted to do.
one of the ways you can get it, the probably easiest way, is to play one game of Eliminator. No matter where you finish in that game of Eliminator, you will unlock this car on return to free roam.
Top 8 teams coming into the LAN had qualified their way through an online season. They were all looking very motivated, and part of the reason they were motivated was because there was $250,000 on the line. Lage and the Red Bull Racing team did a really good job. You can see Lage out there winning every single race in those final 4 races. Spring 2020, we'll be back with the Forza Racing Championship.
We've actually got the man, the myth, the legend himself. Lage, can you hear us? There he is!
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting to win all of the races, but to be in a good position, I was expecting that, yeah.
This year, highlights for you.
Working with LEGO was just an incredible experience. Getting out there to visit LEGO, really working out what makes them tick, what makes LEGO so important to them, and all the quality they pour into that, and then being able to bring all that ethos back and put out that LEGO Speed Champions expansion, which I think we all really, really loved.
For me, it was bringing teams to the Forza Racing Championship. There was a moment in our LAN event, we had a look at it just a moment ago, when we saw the 4 members of a team sitting next to each other, and they're all sitting on their comms devices, and it suddenly made so much more sense. Everything came together, and this team, the teams really gelled as well. That was just awesome to see.
Man, teams gelling, I will say, welcome to Forza Monthly. Here it's January, everybody. Can we get a round of applause in our studio? My name is Kate. I am in the driver's sheet? I was shifting, but in the seat. You know how it is. Welcome to January, you guys. I am so excited to be here. Fangirl number 1 is continuing with our Forza Monthly. And guess what? We've got a lot to talk about today. Let's take a look at the schedule of what we've got coming up here. Of course, the Forza Horizon 4 Series 18 update. And it has something to do with that beautiful looking car on the screen, and we'll get to that in a hot second. Then we're going to sit down, actually sat down last week with head of the franchise, Alan Hartman, to talk a little bit about accessibility and all that Forza is doing. It's really inspiring. It's incredible. Trust me, you're going to want to see that conversation. There's some great stories that come from that, so you'll want to see that for sure. And then we're going to round things out with our little community spotlight with an organization that, if you don't know about it, you should, because they are going places. And I'll get to that in a minute, because that's a tease. But guess what, you guys? I am here in the barren wasteland that is Seattle right now, because it's pretty snowy outside, which means that my in-studio guests literally couldn't get here. But the show must go on, because we do this for you guys, the fans, and that means that we're actually going to be Skyping in, right meow, 2 people that know and love the franchise all the way from the United Kingdom. We've got Chris and we've got Mike from Playground Games. Hi, guys. You just got done with your stream. How you doing?
Doing good, yeah.
Thanks, yeah.
Mike, it feels like just last month you were here on this set.
It feels like that.
It just feels like that.
It really does feel like that, doesn't it? It feels like such a short amount of time since I was sat just there on that sofa next to you. But just now on screen we look like we're just right next to each other again. So really, it feels like it's exactly the same, Kate.
Yeah, I was going to say, and Chris, it's really great to meet you over Skype here. I also couldn't help but notice we look like we have the same couches. So good job on our production team for ordering 2 of the same couches.
Yeah, obviously a bulk buy deal there. Yeah. So, yeah.
I love it.
Now, points on the IKEA card.
I think that's definitely extra point worthy for sure. Mike, Chris, guys, talk to us a little bit about what we're talking about in the Series 18 update.
Yes, so I think perhaps the standout thing is the heavy hitters update to Eliminator. So last month we launched obviously Eliminator for the first time, and now as I guess a show of our commitment to keep updating it and keep adding new things. From Thursday, when the update goes out, there'll be some new cars appearing in Eliminator. So bolstering onto all the cars you could find already, there is now a suite of cars defined by the fact that they're all massive and really heavy. Yeah. So as well as having to deal with those challenging head-to-heads that jump across the map, you're now going to have to do that whilst also the person you race against might be in a car that weighs 3 tons and can just shove you off the road. So
but that goes the other way if you're in a Unimog going through trees. It's not as ideal.
Yeah, so it's not exactly a complete overhaul of the mode because we think the mode's working pretty well, but it just adds a little extra bit of spice, a little bit of randomness that should give it a bit of a reason for people to come back. If you played it for 100 hours throughout December, then well, don't worry because there's that little thing that you might want to come back for in January.
Fantastic. Well, hey guys, let's jump right into it because I feel like the thing that every Forza fan always wants to know, especially for the monthly show, is what new cars are coming. Can we start off with a little of this? Okay, I'm going to start us off with my personal favorite for this update, and if you guys can see my screen, it's the 2006 Hummer. Talk to me a little bit about that.
That's the America in you showing through there, I think, Kate.
Yep, that is definitely the reptilian brainstem in me, just really jiving with it. Chris, I know you are definitely a car guy. It's hard not to work for Playground and not be a car person, but Chris, talk to me a little bit about this, ton of fun, as it were.
3.5 tons of fun. It's the open-top version of the Hummer currently in game. So yeah, 3.5 tons. It's a 6.6 liter Duramax engine in it, which makes 300 horsepower, which makes it slow with 3.5 tons to lug about. But it's great off-road. It's like all Hummers, stems from the original Humvee, and it's absolutely massive, which is not perfect for the United Kingdom, where things are not massive.
I don't know, guys. I feel like I could really see this traversing the British countryside, and luckily for me, it can.
It could definitely traverse the countryside.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Just not the roads.
Yeah. It's not an ideal city car, that's for sure.
Yeah, this car doesn't need roads.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Actually, I'm going to get into this car if you don't mind while we do this. And I know that we've got a bunch of others here. I'm obviously, admittedly, the reptilian brainstem, as I mentioned, is like definitely jonesing for this car. And I will showcase how ridiculous this is. At any rate, I do know that we've got a bunch of other cars, though, and I want to make sure that we talk about that. In fact, actually, I'm even going to get out of this real quick. Sorry, folks, because I want to make sure that we're showcasing a very important car, and that, of course, the Lamborghini.
Yeah, so this has been a big community request for, as we said earlier, since about 15 minutes after Lamborghini announced it.
Yeah.
This thing's incredible. It's one of the fastest Lamborghinis ever made, sub 7 minutes of Nürburgring. And yeah, sounds incredible.
Did you hear that? Oh, that's enough to put the hairs in the back of your head all the way up. And I'll tell you something, this thing handles pretty well off-road. Just kidding. Oh my gosh, the drift on this is out of control. I mean, come on. Right through the lilacs, right through the traversing of British countryside. I absolutely love this car. Although, admittedly, I'm so not a supercar. Or is this a, what is this a hypercar? Or is this a supercar? Learn me your ways.
So, it's kind of a track toy. It's a supercar. We've actually got it in the track toys bucket in the game. It sits alongside your Porsche 911 GT3s, 488 Pistas and things like that. But yeah, it's a supercar.
Look at that. Look at them. Look at that business, everybody. You can hear
Supercar
it.
in the real world, but we bucketed it in with the track toys.
Yeah.
That is what we in the business call drifting. That's a beauty shot right there. Look at them apples. Okay, cool. Let's talk a little bit about the. There's some other cars, obviously. One of which I'm also psyched about because, not to date myself, but I'm just about to. Little Sprinter, 1985 Toyota. Yep.
Is that sharing your birth year? Is it?
It's a. Let's see here. Let's take a quick gander. This, of course, is, oh, we've got some nice weather happening here, folks. That's the beauty shot of this fantastic car. Talk to me a little bit about this 1985 Butte, which, by the way, fast math, is 34 years old. Don't ask me how I know that.
So I think probably most famous for either drifting or delivering tofu this thing.
Oh, God, you can, guys, you know what? One of the best parts about the entire Forza franchise is how the attention to detail. Hear that roar. Ooh! Guys, this is nice. I really wanted to try and race the tractor, but I don't think it's going to be necessary.
I think you may beat the tractor even in this.
I mean, even in this. Let's see what it does off-road. Did you guys ever, do you ever own something like this? Ever get in the Toyota 80s game?
I'm a little bit too young actually to have 80s Toyotas.
I did once own a Toyota, but it was a Toyota Aygo and nothing like this.
Do you fit in an Aygo?
I did when I was younger. I was a young boy.
just a young lad looking through things. I'm going through Endor right now.
Is it really your mum?
No, I did have it. It was like.
I mean, I will say this thing handles quite beautifully. Off-road, on-road, I'm digging it real hard. It does feel like it's working pretty hard, though. It does definitely feel like a car from the 1980s. And that's how we do. Fun fact, you can't get through these trees with this car. I just test out everything, you guys know.
Yeah, the stock version of this car is cool. It's kind of powerful for its era, but I think the real magic in this car is once you start to upgrade it, because it's got some real great upgrade options, including the ability to stick the Super engine in.
Yeah, you can put the 2JZ out of a Super in it, so 1600 horsepower, it's just enough.
It'll probably do it.
Yeah.
It'll do okay with that.
Yeah. Well, over 200 miles an hour, but yeah, it works.
Yeah, this is not going to be facing off against a Lambo anytime soon, but it does bring back some memories. I feel like I had a friend in high school that had something similar. And I like to, obviously, make my car work for it. Fantastic. Well, sorry, I get so excited about these cars, I'm just gonna, I could be doing this forever. Okay, let's go and take a look at some others that we've got coming up here. We went over the Hummer, we got the Lamborghini, of course, and this one, hello. This one looks both futuristic and a throwback all at the same time. This is the Porsche. It's 1964 Porsche 350/60 Cabriolet Emery Special. Did I say all that correctly?
Yep, you did. Yep. So this is a 356. So I don't want to use the word modernized, but in a very Porsche way, kind of made better. So it's got more powerful engine, things like back
Ooh, I feel bad about this. I think I'm hearing kind of every other word from you guys, unfortunately. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Yeah, guys, I got to tell you, this car, although obviously in the hands of a more impressive driver, could be really something. I will say that this car definitely has the like evil genius appeal to it. You know what I mean? Like there's got to be some supervillain that's like, get away before James Bond finds me. That's how the supervillains work, right?
Yeah, and he was towing his caravan at the same time. You can see it's got a tow bar on the back there, so they can hit the step trailer on the back.
So they can just pick up and leave whenever the mood strikes. I would love to see. I was gonna say I would really, really love to see a caravan on the back of this car. I mean, just like toting an Airstream. When is that coming to Forza? It's fine. I won't deal with it. Oh my God.
New game mode.
You know what?
Yes.
Joke's on you guys. I'd be totally here for it. Absolutely. Okay, so those are the new cars.
We'll put it on the list for something to look into then.
Yeah.
That's actually a trailer to that.
I wanted to. I was gonna say, look into that. I also just tested the side airbags. There are none. So fun fact there. Just keep yourself going. I wanted to cut down some trees. Did it. Feeling great. And guys, this is going to be exciting. Now, of course, while I'm driving this here, the one big caveat, the one big question, the thing that I guarantee all Forza fans are going to know and want to know, how do we get our hands on these cars?
All right, so the Porsche that you're driving at the moment, that is for completing 50% of the activities in the festival playlist in winter. The Hummer that we looked at first, you can get in summer, so that starts from this Thursday by completing the Summer Nights Championship.
Yes. Oh, I see. Here, let me go actually. So we're at the playlist here, yeah.
Sorry.
And I see a little Summer Nights.
There you go.
There it is. Okay.
And then if you jump into autumn, you'll see just on the left-hand side there, for completing 50%, you can get the Huracan Performante. So that's 50% of all the stuff on this page. And then the one that we haven't said is the Toyota Sprinter Truno A86. Whatever you want to call it. That one's in spring. So if you jump across to... Yeah. And that one's in the championship that it's called Is That a Supra? So,
question mark?
There you go.
Well, and I also know that you guys have a nice little taxi for takeoff. Playground's got a nice taxi for takeoff stream coming up. Is that correct?
The Showcase Remix, yes. So it's now becoming a little theme within the Showcase Remixes that we are seeing the different versions of Aisha's modified taxis that you played in that Horizon story. They're now popping up in the different Showcase Remixes. There is some deep Horizon lore and backstory, which says that Aisha, the owner of the taxi firm, is trying to market her taxi firm across the UK, and she's doing it by having those taxis race against trains, planes, and who knows what we'll see next. Yeah,
exactly. Right on. Guys, lots happening, lots coming, lots excited for. And obviously, thank you so much. But we're not done yet. I'm going to go ahead and put down this remote. Because while you guys were here, Mike, you were here with Andy last month. And that was the Juggernaut. You showcased the new Eliminator mode, right? So the Battle Royale. Give me a little bit of a highlight, a high level. What is the Eliminator for those who might not know?
Wow, yeah. So if you don't know what Eliminator is, then where have you been? Because we've talked about nothing else for the last month. But Eliminator is a brand new multiplayer game mode in Forza Horizon 4, where you can take part in a Battle Royale mode. This is Battle Royale racing. So there's no guns, there's no shooting, there's no killing people. Instead, it's Battle Royale racing all across a massive open world of Great Britain. You land wherever you want, and then you have two objectives. You can either find other players, challenge them to a one-on-one, head-to-head race. If you beat them, then you eliminate that player, and you can choose to either take their car or upgrade your current car, or you can search the map and try and find rare car drops. These are like sort of almost a cheat where you can find a car drop that's on the map, and that gives you a quick update to a higher level car than the one that you're currently in. Hopefully they don't always go higher, but that's kind of it in a nutshell. It's a lot of fun. It's very unpredictable. There are some really interesting advanced strategies that we've seen come out over the last month that we didn't kind of plan for, but we knew that players would do that as soon as you unleash them on a new multiplayer mode. But it's been a lot of fun, and we've been playing it loads. So yeah, that's my nutshell story on Eliminator.
It's a good nutshell there. I am back up on my box here, and I've already put in we're searching for a session for Eliminator. I like, and I don't know if you guys know this, I'm a big, see, I've got myself on a different, I like to go within the Xbox world. Anybody know what that's called? Looks a lot better.
Is that a question for us?
No,
I mean, you might know that.
I was gonna say, if you guys don't know it, we have bigger problems. Nope, all good. And this is, I like the first person. So yeah, we're searching for a nice little session of Eliminator. Now, you guys got to play this last month in this chair that I'm in right now. I've been playing it a bit. Obviously, I haven't won yet, but someday a girl can dream. Side note, those clouds look a lot like the clouds from Seattle right now, so that's fun. Ooh, session is found. At any rate, we're going to go ahead and play some Eliminator now. I'm going to set expectations, and guys, feel free to jump in if you see something that I'm doing right or wrong. Probably wrong. And set expectations appropriately. We start off with a Mini Cooper, which, fun fact, is a bit zippy, but not as great on the off-roading.
Yeah, it's okay. It's an okay car to start you in. It's not a guaranteed loss. I think that's the most important thing about it. If you challenge someone who's in a 3 or a 4, you still have a chance that you might just beat them. Although
it's good through treats.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
yeah,
Chris.
fits through treats.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Chris, talk to me a little bit about strategy, because there definitely is some. It's not just finding the blue indicators and going on the roads. There's definitely some strategy to this, especially when we come to the very end.
Yeah, so as Mike was saying, I think everyone's got their own strategy. It's really interesting, like just chatting to people around the studio about what theirs is. Personally, I like to drop in my personal favorite location's Edinburgh. The Mini works quite well around the little streets of Edinburgh.
Location, Kate.
Whoops.
They might be in Edinburgh. There tends to be good loot around there as well. I then loot hunt for a while, or car drop hunt. I like to get up to like level 5 or so if I can, and then drive around the outside of the region, trying to stay on the outside of it, because then you always know you're driving towards the middle. So if you're going around, say, clockwise, you know you're going to want to dive.
Yeah. And here we go.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You can be a bit more fun. You can follow out, so.
Let's see here. I'm just breaking land speed records with this Mini, guys. Don't even worry about it. Area shrinking. Oh my gosh.
You say you start in Edinburgh. Where's the?
I think
what's your route to try and find there?
So I start around up the seat, so that's the big hill just outside of Edinburgh. I actually start in the 2 roundabouts right next to each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
I start there because you can find loot on one of those roundabouts. Or if you then drive kind of in towards the center of the map, there's usually a couple in some fields along the way. So by the time I've driven 500 meters or so, I'll have at least got up to a level 3 usually.
Oh, blurred. Okay, so you're saying that I have not done this correctly. That's fine. I'm just going to go and traverse the Edinburgh streets here. What's going on there, buddy? Oh, recycling's important. Okay. Yeah, admittedly, when I've been playing this, I definitely am go for the strategy of be out of people's way and collect cars until is absolutely necessary for me to go head-to-head with someone, which could be why I haven't won yet. But someday, and usually I find cars usually a lot faster than this, and here I am.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, there is an RNG nature to it, so I think you have been quite unlucky so far. But that just means you're saving up your luck for later in the game. So
that's right. Good call.
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh man, let's see this.
If there's no other cars around, then there's no one to eliminate you as well.
That's true. We got 57 drivers left. We started with 72, I believe. At least I hope so. It's just making me feel slightly better, but not.
Yeah, we've been seeing some people get eliminated on the feed, so. Oh.
I like to landscape, you guys know. It's just kind of one of my passions. Landscaping with a small British zippy car is really, I knew it. That's the way. Come on, buddy. Let's see. Ford Ranger, I'll take it. Woo! Let's go. Level 5? Is that what did I just jump up 5 levels? My gosh.
Yep. Yeah, so this game just got interesting.
Yeah.
You're now within a
pretty
great shot, really.
Yeah.
For this stage of the game, you're in a...
Look at that! I like how understated this livery is. Look at that. Whew! Look at that cab, man. Holy God. Okay, sorry. Going back to my preferred... Sorry, gang. This is just how I like to do things. Okay, let's go find ourselves a race. The arena's shrinking. Place is here. And by the way... What am I? Oh, no! No! Going right! Mother of gosh! This is what can happen! Ah! Go! Oh, man. This is upsetting.
You're doing okay.
Go left.
I'm doing okay? Where am I? Come on, get me out of here. Come on, I need to get through. I'm going. Oh my God, time out.
Okay,
no. Am I gonna be? Oh,
No,
Lord.
you're okay.
You sure?
You're in a fast car. Once you can get out, no, just follow the road for now.
I need to go. There's so many tanks. Okay, here we go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy.
As soon as you turn this corner, you should be
Yep, I should be. Oh, Lord. Boy, this is, I'll tell you something. It gets your heart pumping the way that Battle Royale has always done. And by always, I mean since it's become in vogue here in the last couple of years. Okay, come on, buddy. Get me through. I need to get in back to that arena. Come on! Luckily, I've got a car that just won't quit, even though I'm going off-roading. I see it. I see it. We're coming in here. Oh, God, don't time me out, please.
This is great drama, Kate. Don't worry.
This is going to be
very
close.
upset.
This is going to be close, but we
I know
absolutely
it's going to
believe
be close. I know. Of course it would happen to me. Of course I would be the one to do this. Oh, my God. Please, let's go. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. Holy God. Oh. Guys.
This has got winning game brain all over it.
Guys. That was a moment.
Well, you might want to take this moment to take a quick peek at the map and see where the next circle is going to be.
Sure. Let's see. Ah! Wait, how do I? Yep, there we go. Here's my map. No.
Don't quit.
No, I don't. I don't want to quit.
That is not a winner strategy.
What? Don't say that. Where?
You know what? Forget. If you look on your mini map, there's a little big dot line. That is
Yep.
a guide line that'll take you to the map.
We shall, you know what? We're going to go for that lovely fuchsia, and we're going to follow it to the letter because it takes us through some beautiful scenery. And I am nothing if not a fan of going through trees with a car. I knew as soon as I said something about being able to go through trees.
You're doing so well.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
There you go. It is kind of fun, though. Oh, my gosh.
Skill and the drama, we can.
Right there. Oh, but this is just, I'll tell you something. This car, I am such a fan. I don't know how you guys feel. I'm such a fan of the big course vehicles because they're a little bit easier for me to drive. And I don't know, man. The power of a big truck is great. I think it's, the supercars are kind of a little rich for my blood. A little rich, so I appreciate this for sure. Okay, what do we got going? I see some arrows here, so we trying to find some stuff. Only 33 drivers left. So far, my strategy is, you know what, I'm gonna say a terrible word. My strategy is a little bit like camping. Camping in a first-person shooter. It's a little bit like that. I'm a camper, which I know some people don't like, but it is a strategy.
It was a little bit. I don't know how intentional that camping was. It kind of.
Yeah, that's fair. I obviously would go head-to-head. I would go head-to-head with somebody if there was somebody to go head-to-head with. Oh, French toast. Where is that arena again? I keep feeling.
Yeah. You're on the correct side at the moment. Don't cross that line.
Yep.
Yeah, you got it.
Guys.
So yeah, you touched on it just there, Kate. But the big trucks, I think, usually aren't the safer vehicles to be in Eliminator, just because they, more so than a supercar or a saloon, will stay right way up. When you're bouncing through fields or even just on tricky bits of road, you can usually keep them the right way up, which is the sort of the first rule of winning a race is don't be on your roof.
You know what? That's a pro tip, the likes of which I have never heard before. So well done there, absolutely. And I will say, you know, speaking of strategy, I like to go and hit my trees airborne. I will say, from a strategy perspective, one of the things that you just hit on there, which I think is really important, is that when you start racing another person, when you start going head to head, there is an aspect where it will indicate, if you put the indicators on, it'll indicate where to go on the roadway, on the tarmac. But there's another strategy, and that, of course, is to get you through the landscape. You can take, I mean, if it's going to get you
You're heading
through
towards the wall,
your...
Kate. You want to go the other way?
No! Am I going right?
Yeah, turn back. Do a 180 and go the other way.
I'm going the other way. There we go. Ah! Come on, buddy. That's the move.
Only 25 left, though. Doing okay.
I know. I accidentally made it to sort of the semis here. I say accidentally because we both know. That was, again, this is my accidental strategy, which has worked for me in the past. I think that the best I've ever gotten is 13th.
Okay, well, I think...
13's good.
Yeah, I think, and I think you remember the decent shout at beating that today with this car, and not in the lane. Careful.
Keep to the left, keep to the left.
Yeah.
I'm basically a ski-doo right now. People didn't know that Nissans could go there, did they? Without them apples. Oh wait, am I out?
No, you're in. Just
No, I'm in.
keep an eye on the mini-map. Just follow that pink dotted line. That'll get you to the next arena.
You got it.
That wall's going to start moving in 10 seconds, so
I'm not going to
away
do that.
from-
Ah!
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go. Here we go, friends. I see that blimp there. We're close. We're close onto it.
20 drivers left. You're doing good.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay. Whoopsie dudes. All good. All good.
Okay, this wall moves fast.
No! Run away, run away, run away!
Got 1 tick of health left.
I'll tell you guys, I will say this. I could not be doing this in the Mini right now. The Mini would not be booking it power-wise through all of these pieces of foliage the way this really tricked out truck is doing. I mean, I'm telling you what. Plus, that cab is big enough so I probably could have an entire crew with me. Oh, and the feeling of that power, that raw magnetism there. I am digging this in a real way. And 19 drivers left. I'm telling you, there's a lot of large numbers here that at some point I have to meet another driver. And obviously if I had been, oh no! Did I? Okay, good. Whew! Good to know that that's what happens when you inevitably roll your car like I do. Because I'd like to get the most out of what I've decided is an all-terrain vehicle.
17 left. You're doing okay. I'd keep a low profile if I was you.
Guys, I'm kind of on track accidentally to be like, to possibly getting like, see, all you have to do is find yourself trapped in a bunch of trees and you too could possibly win the Eliminator. Side note, if I end up getting, oh wait, gotta go the other opposite direction. Here we go, Kate, come on. If I end up besting my own record this way, because right now I'm one driver away from besting my personal record, which of course is not that much of a record, but still, I am one driver away from it. As soon as we get to 13 drivers left.
Well, now's the time to camp.
Now is the time to camp. Oops. Oh look, civilization. That's a problem. Heyo. Just saying hi. Just wondering what you all are doing over here. Enjoying yourself some Forza Horizon festivities. The Festivus for the rest of us. Excuse me a sec, I'm just gonna go ahead and find out what this wall is made of. Excellent news. What a lovely, is this the Quidditch World Cup? No? Okay. Aren't you guys excited when I host this show? Just full of surprises. Just full of surprises. Ironically,
left, okay. You're on a personal
oh,
PB.
I beat my record! Which is nothing
Now,
to shake.
all you gotta do is wait it out for about another 30 or 40 seconds.
11.
The last minute shrinks, it's got to get there.
Oh, yeah.
Don't go outside it, it will definitely kill you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Turn around.
Okay.
Turn around.
Turning around. Got it. Turning around. Turning around. Oh God, here it comes.
Now you'll find now people will probably not want to challenge you because they'll be scared of getting themselves eliminated. So you can probably take it easy now, but just to make sure you don't accidentally roll outside of the arena because it will toast you instantly.
Well, and I can understand why. What's that? Oh, we're just going to take a quick gander through this festival area. And I will say that this car does not... Oh, shoot, darn dang, I see somebody. Ah!
You should be okay.
Yeah?
They shouldn't challenge you.
Yeah. No! Disabled. Oh, because... Oh, good, because that was a 6. Oh, shoot, where are we going? Where are we going?
Right, final race. Don't leave the arena. Do not go
Not
through the
going to leave the arena. Not going to leave the arena. Although, one of the other strategies that I saw during our last... oh, Lord almighty, what are we going to do here?
Yeah.
I'm just going to stick by this guy. This feels like the right move.
Go.
Go, going.
Drive.
Where am I going?
Just drive anywhere.
Oh, there it is. There
There
it
you
is.
go.
Okay.
Right, turn right.
Turning right. Oh, I see it.
There
I
it
see
is.
it. Oh,
Don't hit the tree.
no. Give me a break. No. Oh, no. I can do it. Please. I've gotten so far. Take that. Oh, my gosh. Guys, this is exactly why.
You're great. It's not over yet.
Okay. But this is exactly why you have a fairly powerful... Whoa! I got some air.
Okay.
Oh, Lord. Here we go. Keep it on. I gotta keep it. I gotta
And
keep it.
rock.
Oh no! No, no. Here we go. Here we go.
Okay, it's okay. Still rolling. Still rolling.
Keep
I
going,
see
keep
5.
going.
Oh god.
Oh, hang on. What's the best route here?
I see other people there.
Probably
Can I hit
you can
them?
go straight through here, can't you? You can go over this road, but yeah.
It's a bit rough, but your car's good for this.
That's
still got
exactly
the-
why. Oh god. This is what BR does to you, man. It's like, oh, now I'm drifting. Ah! Okay. I gotta remember to breathe because this is BR at its finest. This is exactly that moment of, let's be.
Oh.
No,
Who
no,
put
no!
that
I
house
got
there?
this. It's not gonna work. It's fine. Whatever.
It's very unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. And that is also unfortunate. Oh no, you guys! Oh
Felt you
Lord
had it.
Almighty.
Yeah.
It was,
I don't think I'm gonna win this one.
Still
But
an
I-
8. Still an 8.
Ah!
well, great job, Kate. That was a new PB, I understand. So
It is. It is.
You gotta
for
be proud
me,
of
for
that.
Sure. Guys, thank you so much for talking me through not just the Eliminator, which of course is available for free. If you haven't played it, play it. I guarantee will do better than me. But it's obviously super fun. Thank you so much for talking me through that and for going through the Forza Horizon 4 Series 18 update.
great.
Yep,
yeah,
no worries.
Thanks so much, Kate. It's
Thanks
been a
for
pleasure
having
to be
us.
here.
Yeah.
Groovy, man. Okay, well, do you guys have any streams you want to mention right now coming up for Playground? I know you just did one moments ago.
Yes, and because of that, then our next stream will be in precisely 4 weeks from today. Whatever date that is.
I love it. Well, guys, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day over there in the UK, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks very much, Kate.
See you
It's been a
soon.
pleasure.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
again. Okay, so there is, as we mentioned earlier, we actually have a great sit-down conversation. I sat down with Alan Hartman, head of the Forza franchise, last week to talk about something that is very near and dear to his heart. Check this out. I'm here with Alan Hartman, head of the Forza franchise and overseeing Playground Games and Turn 10. Alan, thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Kate.
Hello.
Good to be here.
Thank you. Well, let's talk. We're here to talk about accessibility. You have a passion for accessibility. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it really comes from a career of trying to make games for everyone. It is, back when I started eons ago, back in the mid-90s, making games, we built games for ourselves more than, you were a designer or a producer. You built the game you wanted to play. You knew there were a bunch of people out there that were just like you, and you wanted them to enjoy your game the way you built it. But we've been evolving over the years in really realizing that not everyone is like us. You need to make your game at least able to on-ramp people into the experience, but hopefully actually able to adapt to how they want to play your game. And that's really, for me, where accessibility started, was just this much bigger design goal, this harder design goal of building a game for everyone.
Yeah, you love it so much. You want everyone else to
I
get
want
on
to
it.
build that game that 2 billion gamers out there actually play.
Yeah.
I think that's what any game designer in this industry really wants to do, is build a game that everyone can play.
So you've got a passion for accessibility, but we're going to talk about another guy that has a passion, Dr. Mick.
Dr. Mick.
Tell me about Dr. Mick.
Dr. Mick is, he's my idol in a lot of ways. He is, I really hope to be half the man he is. He is such a good person. He is the spirit behind Special Effect, which is an organization in the UK, which really brings gaming to people that otherwise might not be able to have that experience. Maybe they have had an injury or a disability, or they've had something progressive happening that's taken gaming away from them. Maybe they've never had the opportunity to game. Special Effect is about bringing that experience, the gaming experience, to individuals. They're focused in the UK, the greater UK. They come on location. They build rigs for gamers to be able to game no matter what their disability or their challenge is. They come up with custom-built solutions to allow people to game. And it is amazing. I've seen it firsthand. I've visited their location. I have had the honor of being a representative vice president for them, a great organization.
Well, we talked about you seeing it firsthand, and I think a great segue to that is talking about a guy named Dong.
He is a gamer from China who I believe someone tagged one of his Twitter videos to me probably about 2 years ago. And here's Dong. He has cerebral palsy, and so he has the use of just his left hand for gaming, not his right. And he was playing Forza 7 on the PC, on the keyboard, just literally with just having 3 fingers grouped together and rolling them across the keys. Amazing.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw his video, I retweeted, encouraged him, said, hey, don't let that stay between you and having a great time with games. There are games out there that you can play.
Well, now the story gets more interesting, though, right? Because obviously Xbox has the Xbox Adaptive Controller. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, as the adaptive controller came out, and obviously has been a huge success. It has enabled, I don't even know the numbers anymore.
So many.
Tens of thousands, hundreds
Sure.
of thousands of gamers now to be able to game both on the console and the PC where maybe they hadn't been able to before. If you haven't seen it, it's basically just a massively configurable mixer board of gaming inputs, and so you can plug pretty much anything into it and be able to interface with games. Great piece of kit. Dong had seen this and started asking, hey, how do I get this?
Sure.
That's at the point Special Effect comes back in, and through my relationship I reached out to Dr. Mick and I just, hey, can you do me a favor? And that's where Dr. Mick and Special Effect went off and did just what they do. They didn't just send some notes and some ideas. They orchestrated a accessibility session with Dong across Skype, using translator, going back and forth, and basically did a whole session. Dr. Mick in the UK, Dong in China, speaking Chinese, speaking English, and being able to just through, would this work, what kind of motion can you do, what can't you do, what other abilities do you have, basically put together a solution, build a kit for him. Amazing work. He immediately was a better gamer, had better control in Forza. He was flying around Horizon 4.
Yeah, I heard he got pretty good.
He got pretty good. That's where Special Effect did what they do, which is they don't just one-off people. They go and they make sure that as their gaming changes or their needs change, that they're there for them and they continue to support them. So they put together a new kit, a more comprehensive kit, including the adaptive controller, and sent it off to Dong. And I've seen him now. He's posting videos of playing The Witcher. He's not just playing Forza. He's a fully enlightened gamer, I guess. He's having a great time.
It sounds like it. So let's talk about 2020. Let's look ahead. Talk to me about the Forza franchise, how accessibility is going to be important going forward here.
Yeah, definitely important to the Forza franchise as it's always been. I would be remiss if I didn't do a shout out, though, to the coalition in Gears 5 of really raising the bar on what accessibility can be, I think, for our first party games. And it has helped light a fire across all the studios. We're all learning from each other. We're all doing accessibility sprints now where we bring customers into our studios, all of our studios, sitting down and listening to and interacting with the customers. What are the disabilities you're trying to overcome in your gaming? Whether it's fatigue, vision, hearing, there's such a spectrum that listening, hearing, designing from the beginning of a game, not at the end of the game, building that fundamental accessibility into your gaming experience. I think you're really going to see the games that are shipping in 2020 and beyond really continuing to one-up that bar, continuing to create more and more accessible experiences. It's going to be great.
Going for that 2 billion delight factor, huh?
Got to get them. Got to get them all. 2 billion gamers.
Alan, thank you so much for sitting down with us today.
Thank you.
Gotta say, I love Alan. Thank you so much for that interview, Alan. You have such passion, and it's so great to see. And hey, listen, another place that has a lot of passion, Special Effect. If you want to follow them and see what they're doing to enable gamers all over the world, follow them at Special Effect on Twitter. Well, now we're gonna shift gears. Driving pun. Anyway, we're gonna shift gears over to a question I've got for you, which is, how long has the longest stint have you been driving in a Forza stint for? Boy, that was difficult to say. But the point is that how long would you say the longest stint that you have driven in Forza is? 4 hours? 3 hours? 8 hours? Well, this next guest is actually one of those people that's helping to increase driver stamina all over the world because they regularly put on 24-hour racing events as well as other Forza-type events. Please welcome Ben Williams, president of TORA, also known as the Online Racing Association. Thank you so much for being here, Ben.
Thank you for having me, Kate.
And Ben, you are joining us from Pennsylvania, where I hear it's absolutely balmy.
Yes. We had about 3 inches of snow in my part of Pennsylvania last week, but then over the weekend it became 70 degrees for some reason. I don't know why.
Just keeping us on our toes. Way to go,
yeah,
climate.
so we're back to a balmy 45 now.
Oh, I love it. That's beach going weather. So let's talk about how is it that you got involved with Forza, the Forza racing community?
So my involvement from Forza comes from my love of cars and my love of racing cars. I am very much a car guy, just because I've always had them around because my dad's been a mechanic since probably before I can remember. And the reason I started picking up Forza games was that I wanted to drive these legendary cars that that I had become introduced to. So like 69 Chargers, Camaros, Mustangs, Corvettes, BMWs, 911s, things like that. And that was kind of my introduction into the type of racing that TORA does pretty much all year round.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to 2018. Because you actually were there for the Seattle Invitational, right?
Yes.
You got to check out the Forza Racing Championship. You got to see all of those racers. Talk to me a little bit about, as somebody who was there during that event and has obviously kept up with the Racing Championship, what's the change been like for you? What's the evolution for you, Ben?
I would say it's going much in a more esports-oriented direction than kind of more of a motorsports direction. Just focusing on focusing on combining cars in different combinations that might be interesting. Kind of like the last FRC season where we had, I think one class was a V8 supercar, a stock car, and I feel like I'm missing one, something like that. Yeah. Whereas the more motorsports side is what TORA does. It's much more based on replicating series that you see on TV and events that take place all around the world.
Now, actually, that's a perfect segue. So for the uninitiated, what does TORA do and what do you do with them?
Okay. The TORA stands for the Online Racing Association. We started hosting races back in November of 2007, believe it or not. And our goal has always been as real as it gets. Now, that's kind of a misnomer because it's as real as it gets as we can with a video game. So there are certain things that are involved in motorsports that we just can't do, like changing tire compounds, things like that. And it depends on the game that we're using. But we found that we're mostly using Forza games, Forza franchise stuff, just because of the accessibility that it offers and the more advanced features like the livery editor and things like that allows us to be able to replicate these real life motorsport focused series. It's very much founded by motorsports fans for motorsports fans. So that's been my primary focus. That actually got us to a place where in 2010 we actually became the world's first recognized body for virtual motorsports by a world sanctioned motorsports body. That is what is now Motorsports UK, and I've seen pictures of it, but we're actually listed in one of the Guinness World Record Gaming Edition books that actually has our little name on there that says first recognized. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
That's brilliant. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's as you mentioned, you try to one-to-one these epic, these storied racing tests, these racing championships. You one-to-one, and one of the things that you've got coming and things that you've been doing a lot of course, that is sort of your bread and butter is 24 hours, right? You've actually just did a Nuremberg 24-hour stream.
Yep.
You've got a new one coming here. So my first question is, what do you have against sleep? That's my number one there, Ben. What is that thing? Learn me.
Considering that I'm usually up for a majority of the 24-hour races, I'm not sure yet. I think it's because we're motorsports fans and that we watch the 24 hours of Le Mans every year. We watch the Daytona 24-hour every year. So we watch that and say, hey, I want to do that someday. But I don't realistically have the connections and the assets to be able to do that. So I'll go with the next best thing, which is racing it on the Xbox, or going to iRacing or something similar along those lines. But that, like I said, that's been very much TORA's aim, is to be able to replicate these epic races that we see. I had to go back in our archives. The first time that TORA hosted a full 24-hour race was actually in 2011 on Forza 3.
Oh my gosh. You guys have been you just have been grinding this entire time. Now, speaking of grinding, by the way, and those epic races, you've got one for Daytona coming up here real shortly. Tell me about that.
We do. Our 24-hour Daytona race is this Saturday. We are using the Daytona prototype cars, so the Chevy and Ford Daytona prototypes that you can find in game, as well as the GTLM or GTE category, which is the Corvette C7R, the Ferrari 458, the 911 RSR, and the BMW M8. The first time we've actually been able to use the M8 in a race, so we're very excited about that.
It's a pretty deep bench there, Ben. So other than what we got for Daytona, what's that?
I forgot the Ford GT. I forgot the Ford GT, of course.
Don't forget the Ford, please.
No.
At any rate, other than Daytona, which we've got coming up, what other things can you tell our viewers that the Online Racing Association, TORA, has coming up? Anything you can tease for us?
Well, there might be a couple things I can tease.
Oh.
If you're not a fan of 24-hour racing, because not everybody is, I understand that. It's kind of a commitment. If you're afraid of commitment, that's okay. We can cater to you too. We have our American Iron Series, which is the aforementioned big V8 muscle cars that I personally love. That's coming up on our Thursday nights, kind of our grassroots nights, where it's very user-friendly. It's very beginner-friendly. There aren't as many rules that you would find in one of our 24-hour races. It takes place over 2 hours. You qualify, race same day. You can just sign up, race. There are certain car balance performance stuff they have to do, but other than that, it's pretty user-friendly, I find. So that's coming up on Thursdays. That's actually starting this Thursday.
Hey!
Yeah. And then our next series launch that I could think of is our NASCAR-style series, which we call TASCAR originally, which starts on February 1st. So if you're interested in stock car racing, that's where you'll find that on TORA.
Nice. Well, you guys sound like you've got quite a bit going on, and apparently it's quite easy to get involved. You had mentioned Thursday's grassroots stream. Is there anything else that somebody who's new to this, somebody who perhaps is excited about 24 hours of racing, who wants to get involved, who maybe also has a caffeine addiction, hopefully, what else? Basically give me the highlights. How can people get involved? Where can they follow you? Give me the details.
Okay. To to find out all information about all of our racing, whether it's the Daytona 24, any other 24-hour series that we're going to be running this year. Spoiler alert, there's 3 of them that I can think of that will be running later this year. Just touching that in there. And the more grassroots stuff, you can find out all on forums.theonlineracingassociation.com. It's a bit of a long URL, but what are you going to do?
Trust me, it's worth it.
I didn't set up. Yeah.
Are you guys on this? I'm assuming you're also on social media of some kind?
Yep. We're on Twitter at @thereal_TORA. I don't remember our Instagram name right now. I believe it's TORA Online Media or something similar to that. But most of our major series announcements you'll see on Twitter. So.
Fantastic, man. Well, Ben, thank you so much for Skyping in today. Good luck and have some fun over in Daytona. Well, digitally over that 24-hour race. And we're super psyched to have you guys a part of the Forza community.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
See you later. Oh, okay. Now, we are just about done with this stream, but hey, don't worry your little head about it because we've got another stream coming up right after this. You know her as Shannon McIntosh. Smack Attack is coming right after. Let's take a look at that broadcast schedule we have for this entire week. My gosh, there's a lot of Forza happening this week. And then, hey, listen, obviously we had Allie hosting a little bit earlier today, but guess what? Don't worry, we got another Allie Tack. That's happening tomorrow. Finally, we got Forza Friday as well. Take a look at our schedule. So much is happening, so much Forza, so little time. Should be fun, obviously. I like jumping into those chats, which is great. And speaking of, thank you so much for jumping into this one. I want to say a huge thank you to Alan Hartman, a huge thank you to Chris and to Mike for Skyping in. And listen, you guys, obviously, if you're here in Seattle, make sure you're safe on the roads there. It's super snowy. But here's just a little present to send you off. This is some highlights from the Eliminator. Happy January.
Go!